Good afternoon. Thank you for coming and joining us in this momentous event. I'm Kelby Benedict, and I have the fortunate privilege of being the principal of Wellington Middle High School. It's my pleasure to welcome you all here today at this truly historic event. Starting with the passage of PSD's Mill and Bond in 2016, it has been quite a journey to get us to this point, where we are on the verge of opening this incredible school. Less than 12 hours away, we'll have 9th and 10th graders in these halls. So many people have had a hand in the design and construction of this state-of-the-art building. Hiring an all-star staff, developing a vision for a 6th through 12th grade school, ordering and receiving equipment and supplies, and generally working on all the thousands of details that go into getting a new school up and running. We have an opportunity to celebrate many of these people today before we release everyone to walk around and see this magnificent facility. The return of a high school to Wellington is 58 years in the making. It is important to recognize that although this building and campus are brand new and state-of-the-art, this is not the first building to be called Wellington Middle School or Wellington High School. The first schoolhouse in Wellington was a 2-story building built around 1902. The old frame building was replaced by a brick building in 1917 that was then replaced by the new Eystone Elementary in 1973. Wellington High School first opened in 1926 and graduated its last class in 1964. At that time, high school students from Wellington changed attendance and were bused into Fort Collins to Poudre High School. The high school building remained open for junior high students through 1993. In 1993, the original Wellington High School was torn down, and the building that now stands as the former middle school was replaced it. Throughout this timeline, the secondary schools in Wellington have always maintained the mascot of the Eagles and the colors of maroon and white. The current building that it used to house Wellington Middle School was built in 1993, where it operated both during its time as a junior high school and a middle school over the last 29 years. Still standing at the old middle school is one of 2 original arches from Wellington High School that housed its last graduating class in 1964. With the addition of this 1,500 student facility, our community will eventually serve students 6th through 12th grade. We have the opportunity to build a true feeder system that will educate students preschool through high school graduation. Taking cues from our school history, we look forward to once again becoming the secondary Wellington School. With a vision of igniting curiosity, nurturing resiliency, and inspiring lifelong learning, we will be preparing students to give back to the community that they're such an integral part of. This starts by committing to treating each other with dignity and respect while embracing the diversity within our community, allowing all of our students, families, and community to feel a sense of belonging once again in the town that they call home. With that, I would now like to welcome to the stage one of the individuals who has consistently supported the learning and goals while setting and maintaining a high bar excellence for the next graduating class at Wellington High School. Please help me in welcoming Poudre School District Superintendent, Mr. Brian Kingsley.
I'm much shorter than you. Now everybody knows that too. I am so incredibly grateful and blessed to be with all of you this afternoon. And Kelby, I've been a part of the PSD community for over a year. I have been so impressed by your leadership, your compassion, your commitment for this district, the way that you work with the incredible staff that was at the former Wellington Middle School as they transition over here, and you continue to expand upon hiring and continuing to support an incredible, inclusive community. I'm so excited for the future of this town and for the leadership, and most importantly, the children of this town as a result of everything that's coming together. So if we can give Kelby a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. That felt good. You know, it's because of voter support that our school district has been fortunate to open 3 new schools. First, Bamford Elementary School, then recently the new Timnath Middle/High School, and now Wellington Middle High School. I know some people may say we saved the best for last. We'll have to find out. You know, just starting my 2nd year as the proud superintendent of this incredible school district, you know, I'm honored to not just be here today, but we're witnessing history in the making. I actually text a picture of the, not the statue, the signage up or on the front. My name is on this building. I texted to my mom. I said, hey, Mom, I made it. I am so incredibly proud to be a part of this legacy with you. Most importantly, though, as I look out and see the work of so many people that made this possible today and our future in Wellington, all of the things that are possible for our children are because of the community, not because of one person that's in this room. It's a collective vision, a town that cares, a town that puts its children first and does everything it possibly can to advocate for what's right and for what's the best things are to come. You know, many of you have been hoping and advocating and waiting for this day to come for a long time. In Wellington, I want you to know you have a high school once again, Mr. Mayor. This is your school. I don't know many towns that love their schools quite as much as this one, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's apparent in every conversation I've had with members of this town that this community matters, the children of this town matter, and the infrastructure and the resources that we provide each other are significant. You've shared so many stories with me about the school's historic arches and the famous Wellington High graduate Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Byron Whizzer White. Let us cherish those memories and make new ones together. This school has been possible as a result of community support, and let's be honest, opening any school is not an easy task. There are challenges, many challenges along the way, but we've worked through them as a community, and I'm really proud of that, always keeping what mattered most front of our minds and our hearts, which are our children. This is something for all of us to take pride in and know that we accomplished that together, and for that, I thank you. There are so many things that I'm personally looking forward to experiencing with all of you. Friday night lights are coming back to Wellington. Yeah. Now, word on the street is 3,000 people are supposed to show up for the first game, and I know it'll be like that every game thereafter. I've seen old pictures with cars parked around the track and the stadium. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to put the maroon and white on and support the Proud Eagles. Don't tell the other schools I said that. And a couple years from now, in 2025, when the first class will graduate from this new school, joining the Wellington High alumni who preceded them decades before is going to be incredible. We're just a few moments and days away from having children, young adults walk through this building and think about the design. As you have an opportunity to walk this facility today, it's not just about Friday night lights. It's not just walking across the stage that matters and getting your diploma. It's the everyday experience that young people in this town can now look forward to, where they have this natural light. It exudes joy. The classrooms are designed for students to naturally work with their teachers and each other, to innovate, to collaborate with each other, and to create things. The things that are possible in this facility because of the people and the heart and the soul are only going to make this town stronger. This town is future focused. I can see it in your beautiful changing downtown that continues to get national grants and continued infrastructure investments, and I can see it on everyone's faces today. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for all that you have done and will continue to do for our students. This school is a crown jewel in the portfolio of all schools in Poudre School District. This town and our children deserve it. It is your school. Congratulations and enjoy it.
Thank you, Superintendent Kingsley. I appreciate your vision and support and everything you do for us. You know, oftentimes I just want to clear the air. People will refer to me as a local, and I want to make sure I'm not a Wellington local. However, I'm fully committed. But it is my honor, I am a Northern Colorado local, it is my honor to now introduce our mayor, Kaylor Shosey, who is a Wellington Junior High alumni, to speak next.
We have the same challenge. No, guys, today this is incredible. There are a lot of people in this room that made this possible. Obviously, I was just elected. I had really nothing to do with any of this. There are the people here that did, so thank you. Thank every single one of you for making this possible. This is huge for our community. This is huge for our town. Coming from Wellington, being here, growing up here, having to be bussed off to go to school in Pooter, I mean, it worked, but you couldn't build the pride in the community, in the students, and in the town without having a school here. And that's what it's going to do. It's going to help us prosper and help us grow as a community and just be better together. One thing I'm really proud about or excited about is how it's going to be trades. There's going to have trade-based programs here. I myself went to trade school after high school. I did not go to a four-year college. So I am super thrilled about that. I know that the trades right now are struggling, and so that's something that we really need to focus on as a nation and just encourage kids that it's the same and it's just as good. When it comes to the football, I mean, that's going to be incredible. Friday night lights. I mean, think about what it's going to do for our town. The excitement, you can already feel it in the air. It's going to be such a blessing for us to be able to support our team, stay in our community, and raise the children as they're going to school and being in and throughout the community. I would like to thank Kelby for being just an incredible man. For the short time I've known him, I've learned that he really does care about our children, and I am thrilled to have him as our principal. I would also like to thank, oh my gosh, Brian. He's a great guy. We've worked together. We're getting things done. Things happen when you don't write a speech. But yeah, guys, this is going to be great, and I cannot wait for it to turn into a legacy for people to be able to say, you know, I went there, my child went there, and it's just going to continue. And our town as a whole is moving forward, and this is the first place it starts. I know that he said that maybe they saved the best for last, but we all know they did. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor Shosey. Even when you write things down, you still forget, so it's okay. I appreciate you jumping in with 2 feet and getting connected and advocating for our students. That's been obvious from day one, especially when you're talking about safety and security and making sure our students have what they need. So I appreciate that, and thank you. It's at this time I'd also like to acknowledge the town of Wellington. If you've had any time to be a part of this building, connect with anybody here, or talk with me, we are only going to be as strong as our community and business partnerships. And from the time that I came up here 3 years ago at the middle school, the town has been nothing but welcoming. And so I'd love to take this opportunity now. I'm going to ask some of you to stand if you're able. Could I please get our Town of Wellington Board of Trustees that are here to please stand? Mayor Shosey, Representative Kinney, Representative McDonald, and Representative Mason, thank you for being here. I'm not sure if anybody else was able to make it, but I just want to say thank you to Representative Gator, Representative Teets, and Representative Wigand. Thank you for your support. Representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, if you would please stand. And I apologize if I miss some of your names. We have representation here today from some original founding members of our Chamber of Commerce. Our Executive Director, Mary McCaffrey, Troy Hammond, former mayor, Linda Kinsley, former founding member, or founding member, not former, Kelly DeVries, James Sturkle, Mark Gabbert, who is also a coach and volunteer extraordinaire in our building, Lisa Christofferson, Naomi Russo, Wendell Nelson, and John Slutsky, who are also founding members of our chamber. Thank you for representing today. We also have representation here from business partners, people who have stepped up to support us through volunteer efforts, donations, working alongside of us, giving us guidance and feedback as we built this school. So if you are a business partner or a nonprofit partner, would you please stand to be recognized? Come on, I see you all. Come on, come on. Thank you to Colorado Metal, Stonebridge Church, River of Life Church, Zion Lutheran Church, and I apologize if I'm not seeing a couple of you, so thank you so much for your support. It's at this time that I would like to welcome our PSD Board of Education President, Rob Pederson, and Director Carolyn Reed, who would like to share a few words with us.
All right, thanks and welcome. I would just like to say that on behalf of the board, we are super excited that due to the foresight of previous board members, some of whom are actually here this evening, and to the generosity of taxpayers throughout Poudre School District, we're able to bring this beautiful facility to life. Wellington is an important part of our school district, and this facility is proof of that. We expect this facility to serve the needs of our students and of the community for generations to come. And to open this facility, we have a really outstanding staff led by Kelby Benedict, who's served Wellington students now for years. And in conjunction and in partnership with the Wellington community, we expect this staff to be able to deliver in a really strong way on the PSD promise of being able to educate every student every day. With that, I want to introduce your hometown board member, Carolyn Reed, who can speak much more eloquently to the community. But I want to say again, thank you all for your support in making this happen, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Well, I guess in keeping with tradition, they saved the best for last. And I don't know how many of you know me, but I grew up here in Wellington. I still live here. I love this community. I lived away for a few years, but when I had the opportunity, I wanted to come back to Wellington because I remembered it was a community that cared about each other. And I wanted to share one story with you that I remembered from when I was a young girl about, we're an agricultural community. We have a lot of farms here. I see John here who has La Luna Dairy next to us. This is an agricultural community, and it has been for a long time. And farms have been the backbone of this community. And I remember when I was growing up that a farmer in our community got cancer, and he died right before harvest. And it was really quite sad that his widow was left with her children and no way to bring her harvest in. But what happened in this community was every farmer and every farmer's son showed up at that widow's house and brought her harvest in one day. And the farmers in this community and the people in this community do things like that all the time, not because it was something that they were directed to do, not because it was something that maybe somebody else next to them told them they had to do. It was just something that this community knows it has to do. It knows it needs to take care of itself. And if you look back at the history of our schools, we have always taken care of ourselves here in Wellington. And so I am so proud to be able to be with you here today to celebrate the opening of this new school. And I am so happy also that your students will not be bused for an hour and a half each way. Okay. I think that growing up, one of the worst things for me was having to drop out of sports when I went to Poudre because I didn't have a way to get back and forth to school. And no child should ever not be able to be involved in sports, be involved in extracurricular activities because they don't have transportation. So like Brian said, it's really important that we have a school here in your community, right here, right in your backyard. I heard somebody say a little while ago that we were only 2 minutes away from the school. And so, so it's really going to be great, I think, for everybody here in so many different ways. And so I, too, will be looking forward to our first Friday Night Lights game. I am going to be here with the rest of the board, I'm sure. And before I finish my comments, I did want to recognize a couple of other people. I see we have Commissioner Kafalis here. Thank you for joining us today. And I already did acknowledge our one neighbor here, John from La Luna Dairy. I'm so happy to have you as a neighbor to our school. And then I see Curtis Bridges. Curtis provided the land, or we purchased from him the land for this school. Thank you, Curtis, for being here today. And looking around, I see a lot of really familiar faces, and I know later this afternoon there are going to be a lot of people here from the community, and it's going to be a really great time to meet and greet with all of your neighbors. And in the tradition of taking care of each other, let's all have a good time this afternoon. Thank you.
I apologize. Thank you, President Pederson and Director Reed, for the vision that was set years ago and seeing it through to get this building in this community once again. This incredible school would not have become a reality without the leadership and support of past and current directors who serve on the PSD Board of Education. We are very appreciative of the hard work and decision-making that our board members undertake and undertook to help keep our school district among the best in Colorado. Our current board includes, and please stand as I call your name, President Rob Pederson, Vice President Kristen Draper, Director Jessica Zamora, Director DJ Anderson, Director Carolyn Reed, Director Nate Donovan, and Director Jim Brokish. We also have some past presidents and directors with us today that were instrumental in getting this building in our community. Christophe Fevre, past board president, and former director David Trask. A couple individuals that were not able to be with us today, State Representative Kathy Kipp and Susan Gutowski, who are also part of the long-range plan to get this school back up into Wellington. I'd also like to thank County Commissioner John Kafalis and your support and advocacy not only for education, but the students up here in Wellington. Thank you. You know, everybody that comes up here keeps saying, well, they saved the best for last. I did save the best for last, so I'll let you know that in a second. But before I get there, many of the people who are making up our first staff are here to celebrate with us today. We also have some student leaders here with us as well. As we have started working within the building, setting it up, unpacking boxes, many of us have reflected on how fortunate we are to get to work in and utilize this facility. The building itself is a source of inspiration for us to operate a school within these walls that is worthy of this space and reflects the values that we have as a community. We will focus on the whole child by ensuring exposure and learning across a wide array of subjects, while also working to ensure that each child in our building feels safe, engaged, supported, healthy, and academically challenged. Our staff will work together, collaborating with purpose, to do whatever it takes to ensure high levels of learning for all of our students. We cannot wait to get started and to create a school community that we can all be proud of. If you are part of the Wellington Middle High School staff, would you please stand? Now, I really would like to acknowledge that I did save the best for last. If you've ever worked in a school or been in a school in the summertime, it gets really lonely. It is really quiet. No matter how amazing the facility is, how beautiful the views are, how state-of-the-art the technology is, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's standing behind you on the balcony. When our students first started coming in last week for check-in, and as the halls have gotten fuller these last couple weeks, and bringing in our web leaders and training them and getting people ready for this building, I'm daily reminded of why I do what I do. And I'm so excited to introduce two of our students to you. I didn't know if I'd be able to arrange a couple student speakers today, and these two stepped up to a very last-minute challenge, and it's pretty awesome. And one thing that I think about these students, they are advocates. They advocate for themselves, they advocate for their peers, and they want the best learning opportunity possible in this building. And as we move forward, I talk about business and community partnerships. However, the students are going to have agency and ownership of their learning in this building. They are going to be able to help determine their future and next steps. And so at this time, I would like to introduce you to Tobin Phillips, who is going to be our first student speaker this afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Tobin Phillips. I'm going into 8th grade, and I'm a web leader. As we cut the ribbon for this wonderful new building, we must realize as a school, we have a chance to extend our hand to the community, to take advantage of this new space, and to utilize our newfound resources, but also to remember our heritage as a high school and a middle school. My 7th grade year was one of the best years of my education so far. The only problem was my classmates and I suddenly turned into fellow submariners as we moved about our classrooms. I also found that commuting to and from classes seemed as though I was tackling rush hour traffic. With the wide hallways of this building, traffic will be anything but a problem. With this newfound space we've been provided, we also find ourselves not only room to host the students and the staff, but also our community. I've told many people I'm elated for Friday Night Lights in Wellington. These games and other events bridge the gap between town and school, allowing for opportunities and connections that would have been impossible otherwise. With this new building, we have so many brand new resources right at our fingertips. I recall at the end of my 7th grade year, I was given a radio receiver from the closet in one of the science classrooms. A plate on the receiver read, "Accepted by the Navy, June 17th, 1944. As we move into these open classrooms with illuminated and natural light instead of modulars with jumbled room numbers, students will now have access to resources coming straight off the assembly line to excel their education. And so as the lights are turned out here this evening, I hope you begin to ponder the wonderful potential of this building. I also hope you remember the past experiences with the old building's charm and quirks. Finally, I hope that you can see this new building as a school with the best and brightest technologies, but also pride in its heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Tobin. You know the best part is that no matter how state-of-the-art this building becomes, Tobin will be the one that will continually remind me of how things work and that new technology probably isn't always the best. It's with my pleasure now to invite up Seneca Wall, who would like to share some words with you.
Try not to break this. I got it. Thank you. Yat she Seneca wall yeneshe Vilagana nishli toharadlini bashichin tolichini dashiche nuch dashanale. Hello, my name is Seneca Wall. I just introduced myself in my traditional Navajo language. It means a lot to be a student at Wellington Middle High School because I have a deep connection to the town of Wellington. I have gone to school in Wellington since I started school, even before I lived here. This is special because I have lots of friends and favorite teachers. I have lots of things to be excited about this year. It's exciting to be in a new school building because there's a lot more space and everything's fresh and clean. I love how tidy and comfortable it is. Another thing I'm excited about is meeting new people, teachers, and coaches. I'm looking forward to using our new sports facilities. Our girls' basketball season is going to be awesome. Over the next 5 years, this school will provide me with many new learning opportunities. I have many passions and interests, but one I'm striving to achieve is becoming a park ranger, because I have always loved animals. So to achieve this, I need to do well in all my classes, especially science. Education is very important to me and my people. A great Navajo chief named Manuelito once said, "My grandchildren, education is a ladder. Tell our people to take it." I challenge every student that walks through the doors of our school to take that ladder and embrace the opportunity to obtain an education. I believe Wellington Middle High School provides us that perfect opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Seneca. Thank you, Tobin. These two and the other 907 students that are going to be entering the halls of Wellington Middle High School next week are the continual reminder that I need to step out of the way and let them be the facilitators of their learning. Let them take on what they're passionate and interested about, and let them be the ones that lead the future. This school was intentionally designed and built with them in mind, with the collaboration, the learning, and the opportunities that some of us can't even think of that they're going to have when they graduate. It will further the innovative learning opportunities that they'll have while also preparing them to be post-secondary ready and workforce ready. Our students will have a learning environment that will empower them to become empathetic change agents of tomorrow. Students, I'm excited to make this journey with you. As we build out this school and the school of our teachers' dreams, but most importantly, your dreams, this is your school. Thank you for your work, passion, and desire to be lifelong learners. And thank you again for all of our speakers who were able to join us today. At this time, I would like to recognize Mr. Curtis Bridges and his late wife, Catherine Louise Bridges. Curtis, would you please stand? Mr. Bridges is the latest owner of the land in which we currently stand, prior to PSD taking ownership and breaking ground. To that end, our school's library will stand as a testament to his late wife, Mrs. Catherine Louise Bridges, who was an avid reader and lover of horses. So as you can see behind me, our library is named in memory of her. As you are wandering the school this afternoon, taking a tour, also please take note of the plaques that are up there with her picture, with the things that she loved the most, her horses. As we get closer to the ribbon cutting, there are some other key individuals and groups that I would like to honor. Once again, thank you to all of our district leadership, including Mr. Brian Kingsley, Mr. Scott Nielsen, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, Dr. Tracy Guile, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Schools, and Ms. Marlena Gross-Taylor, Chief Equity and Academic Officer. Please stand if you are here to be recognized. There are so many people who have made this school and this day possible, and I would be remiss to not share my deep appreciation. They represent our alumni, PSD staff, elected officials, municipal, community, and business partners, and so many more. Please know that if I miss someone, it is not intentional, and I thank each and every one of you for the role and the part that you have played along in this journey, and will continue to play in the years to come. This has been a massive project, resulting in 247,000 square feet with a capacity to serve 1,500 students. You'll notice as you walk the building, the design is intentional that embraces transparency and collaboration throughout the campus. The circular design surrounds a large outdoor learning park, allowing for a secure, safe space for students to learn, eat, play, socialize, and create together. This building includes features such as geothermal heating and cooling, high-efficiency plumbing fixtures, and water bottle refill stations, energy-efficient LED lighting, windows and solar tubes throughout that bring natural daylight into the building all day long. And most importantly, healthy spaces for our students to learn in. The result is truly remarkable. We have many people to thank and recognize for this architectural achievement. First, I want to thank RB+B Architecture. RB+B staff, please stand and be recognized. Second, I would like to thank the initial Design Advisory Committee that worked closely with RB+B from start to finish of design. This Design Advisory Committee included parents, students, teachers, administrators, and community members to design what the two new schools in Poudre School District would look like. If you are here from the Design Advisory Committee, would you please stand? Next, thank you for those that took the design and the intention and actually put walls up. Adolphson and Pederson Construction, A&P staff, please stand to be recognized. I'll call you out by name if you're not going to stand. I see you back there. Huge thank you to the Poudre School District construction and facilities staff, including but certainly not limited to John Little, Earl Smith, Mike Chenoweth, and Matt Bryant. I'm not sure if a lot of you are aware, but one of the biggest undertakings that we had to go through this last year is that we had students in our building. And we had many staff doing multiple jobs. Huge thanks to Poudre School District's finance and procurement team that has been instrumental in helping us order supplies and furniture and equipment, but then also coming and helping us unbox and put those away. Special thanks to Dave Montoya, John Babcock, Amanda Smith, Tuesday Hilland, and Danielle Chenoweth. Please stand to be recognized. The amazing flexible seating. Some of you that are in benches, you probably did not know that those are also lunch tables. This was intentional design through our partnership with BC Interiors. Those from BC Interiors, would you please stand? As we open our school, told you I forget things. I even wrote it down. Last but not least, PSD Human Resources had the immense task of navigating the staffing shifts across the district as we hired for new schools. Their support was greatly appreciated throughout the process. Special thanks to Allie Shore, Jamie Engel, and Brett Larson. As we open our school, we are excited to partner with our elementary schools. Through that partnership, we will create a true feeder in Wellington, pre-K through 12th grade. We have already received tremendous support from these schools and their principals. Thank you so much, Kristen Broadbelt at Icestone Elementary and Melissa Duvet at Rice Elementary. As a Wellington feeder, we cannot wait to build out pre-K through 12th grade learning in this community with these two schools. I also want to thank all the PSD principals who are incredibly supportive through all the hiring and enrollment shifts that come with two new middle high schools opening up in the district, particularly Kathy McKay at Poudre High School and Amy Kirby at Preston Middle School. They were especially gracious throughout the registration and hiring process as we brought students and staff on to our building and in our campus. I have some pretty big shoes to fill. When I met with alumni this last weekend and they got a tour of the building, I heard lots of great stories about previous principals. Probably one of the most famous, Bob Eystone. I was able to talk with his family members and the things that he did, the things that his wife did for that community, and set in motion traditions, paved paths to greatness, and established a strong learning community. For that, I'm thankful. So with that, I would like to recognize Bob Eystone, Richard Kreitzer, and Alicia Durand as paving the path to where we are today. I don't think I'd be standing here today if it wasn't for Jesse Morrill and the team at Timnath Middle High School. They have been incredible thought partners as we have gone down this road, as we have built out this facility, figured out what it is that we're going to purchase, but most importantly, how we're going to meet the needs of our students. So thank you, Jesse Morrill, and your partnership. All right, I promise we're getting close, and then you can wander the building. This last recognition are two people that probably aren't even front and center right now, because that's not who they are. I want to recognize these two individuals that have gone above and beyond this past year and summer to ensure that this building is ready for the students that are coming in tomorrow. Nadine Kelly and Carl Trujillo have been nothing short. Nadine Kelly and Carl Trujillo have been nothing short of remarkable throughout this entire journey, taking very few days off this summer to ensure that deliveries made it where they need to be, received items, answered the one phone that's been working all summer long, and put teams together so that we could be where we are. If you've never opened a school before, then you really have no idea what all goes into the planning process. It's an immense lift and simply could not have happened without these two solution-focused energy, creativity, and work ethic. Thank you, Nadine Kelly and Carl Trujillo. Many of our staff have been working 2 to 3 jobs, and that's just out of this building for the last year. Early last fall, we identified a teacher team from Wellington Middle School that would become our transition implementation team. These teachers and counselors met at night throughout the school year to support the development of the vision, culture, and curriculum for our school. They also supported the huge task of ordering equipment and furniture while serving on multiple hiring committees as we built out our entire team, while also rocking their day job as a middle school educator. This team created a solid foundation for us to build from, and they will forever be at the heart of what Wellington Middle High School becomes from here. Members of the Wellington Middle High School Transition Implementation Team, please stand and be recognized. As I mentioned, this is a long time coming. 58 years since we last graduated a high school senior. And I think we could probably say that even the last 6 years since the mill and bond passed probably felt like those 58 years. To that end, I would like to now invite our transition implementation team, School Board President Rob Pederson, Mr. Brian Kingsley, Mayor Kaylor Shosey, Mary McCaffrey, and our founding members of the Chamber of Commerce, to come up here with me to cut the ribbon. After we have cut the ribbon, we'll ask some specific people to come up for group photos and dismiss everyone from here to go on a self-guided tour of our new building. You can use the provided map to help guide your way on a self-guided tour. These maps, Madeline is holding one up, can be found on the tables behind our display boards. Thank you so much for being here today to help us open our new school.